All right, welcome everybody to Owning Your Health. This is Dr. Kyle Loveless with the beautiful, the only
Dr. Holly.
Yes, and welcome to the show today. Ultimately, again, I'll say it again, this show is all about helping you become your own health expert. And just so you guys know, we're videotaping these shows, so they are on our YouTube channel. If you haven't been on our YouTube channel, we have, I think, 300 different videos over the last 8 years that we've recorded. Don't go back 8 years ago because they were pretty bad back then. But some of them,
back 8 years ago.
You can go back, I guess. But point is it's Loveless Health Solutions on our YouTube channel, and we would love it if you would subscribe to that and get more and more health information. And you can watch the podcast because it's probably funnier to watch than it is to listen to. Anyways, so potentially, yep. So Dr. Holly, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about healthy skin.
Ooh, yes. And
beautiful skin.
One thing I can say for sure, Dr. Holly has some amazing skin, and I don't know if I can say that about myself. Are you blushing?
Nope, that's my blush.
Oh, okay.
Non-toxic.
Non-toxic blush. We're going to talk about that. So this healthy skin, there's some certain things you want to do to have healthy skin. And we're talking to the people right now that at different levels. Some of you might be like me. Growing up, I had psoriasis all up and down my arms. I had it in my head sometimes. I get flaky skin and dandruff from it. And so I grew up most of my life with psoriasis. And then, when I went through puberty, I got horrible acne. So a good portion of my childhood was skin issues. And so I'm really familiar with skin issues. I've taken every single acne medication. Well, back then, whatever it was back then, I've taken them.
Oh, there's so many more now.
Yeah, I've taken the majority of acne medications back in the 90s. And I took even Accutane. I took that twice. And so I understand skin issues for sure. I can tell you that if you're someone with skin issues, then it affects every aspect of your life. It affects what clothes you put on. It affects what you do, your mood, your confidence. We don't realize until you have skin issues how big it is. Most people that don't have acne, they see someone with acne and they just think, oh, they have acne. They don't really think of it as a big deal. But if you're that person with acne, not only is it super uncomfortable, but it is also something that really affects your confidence, especially when you're younger. So I start out saying that like, hey, I understand. And we're talking to people like that. We're also talking to people that just want to have beautiful skin, right?
Or they don't want to age fast.
Yeah, or anti-aging kind of effect there. So today, or to do that, we're going to go through 4 concepts or 4 topics, 4 areas we're going to address when it comes to having healthy skin. Now, again, this is a 15 to 20 minute podcast. We're not going to be able to cover everything in that period of time. So we're going to separate this into 2 different podcasts, and we're still not going to cover everything, but we're going to give you some good stuff that I think you can take home and start to use. So today is all 4 of them are diet, rest, the supplements you should be taking, so how much rest you should get, the supplements you should be taking, the types of foods you should be eating, and then what beauty products should you be using and shouldn't you be using. Today we're going to start with diet and supplements, and we're going to go over our favorite supplements for skin. And again, this needs to be really individualized. However, there are some starting points that everyone should be doing. So Dr. Holly.
Well, first I want to interrupt you. When we talk about your skin, it is a direct reflection of what's happening inside of your body.
Good,
so,
yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, so if you're having skin issues, the first thing that I think of is your GI tract, because that's where you absorb nutrients, that's where you absorb fats, and all of those things turn into good skin cells, tissues, also help you fight bacteria and viruses, and all of the immune system is really starting in the gut and in the GI tract. So if you're having skin issues,
and your skin, your innate immune response, the
yes,
first defense against your body, anything is your skin.
Is your skin.
So stop putting antibiotics on your skin.
Yeah. So crazy cool is your skin responds to viruses, bacteria, and everything in the air, and then it signals to your brain in order to create part of the immune system to fight it. So if you're killing the bacteria every time you wash your hands, I know we have trained you germ theory, you're killing the germs. Not true. You're killing the bacteria that communicate to your immune system how to fight the actual virus and bacteria that
and
you're
bacteria
trying to
have antiviral aspects to them.
Yes.
So when you're we have certain staph on our skin that helps get rid of the staph you don't want. So it keeps that away. So, and it makes it a certain acidity on your skin too. You actually want a little bit of an acidity to your skin. So here's the thing is if you're using these antibiotic creams and hand sanitizers all the time, I don't let our kids touch those things. They go to school and they try to put that on their hands. I just
We give them the other option.
I curse the
But
darkness.
I would be really curious. I guarantee there's probably research out there that since Corona has hit and everybody's putting Purell and sanitizer on their hands, skin issues, eczema, psoriasis, just dermatitis has probably gone up.
Yeah, even especially on the face with face masks
I would
too.
imagine.
So,
Maybe
all
I'll
right,
look into
that's a
that.
side note. We got a little off direction there, but it was important. And one of the things you can do, I'll just say that for good, healthy skin in terms of bacterial health and acidity is apple cider vinegar. I'll just start out with a good quick tip. Apple cider vinegar directly on your skin is amazing for keeping that acidity there.
Because it has that good bacteria.
And it's just acidic in general, so
Yes.
it's really good. So, okay, so Dr. Holly,
It does not smell good. So
yeah, so Dr. Holly, when it comes to diet,
Yes.
right? Again, I said this in the beginning. It needs to be individualized. Everybody's different. One person might do great with kale. One person might do bad with kale. So it needs to be individualized. But as a whole, what eating plan should people start with?
So eating wise, you want to reduce inflammation as much as possible. So the nutrition plan that I would start with is our anti-inflammatory,
Or non-inflammatory?
non-inflammatory nutrition. And this is removing, you can check back to our podcast, read Dr. Kyle's inflammation ebook, that's for free. But really pulling out sugar, grains.
So when you say check back to the podcast, that we did a podcast
sorry.
on diet when it comes to creating a health plan for 2022. We talked about diet, and you definitely want to go back and listen to that.
Correct. So you're pulling out sugar. I guess we can focus on that. Sugar creates inflammation, and that reduces your immune system. It tears up your GI tract, and it's going to mess up your skin for sure. I have had patients that I've pulled just sugar, and when I say sugar, I don't just mean table sugar or ice cream and cookies and sugary things. I also mean grains like rice that turn to sugar when your body actually digests it, or breads and pastas and cereals. I'm talking sugar across the board. When we remove sugar or help patients remove sugar, their skin clears up right away.
Yeah, sugar's a big one. And then the other things you want to remove, so in that eating plan and to have healthy skin is the big ones, which is gluten, right? So
Correct.
removing wheat.
Correct.
Right? And Dr. Holly, real quickly, what does gluten do to you?
So gluten actually causes what's called a zonulin response, which actually shuts down part of your immune system and activates an inflammatory mediator. And I don't know if that's too many big words, but all that to be said is your body's constantly in a chronic state of inflammation, no matter if you have a gluten allergy or not, if you are eating gluten. And inflammation, you can think of it as like your fingers and things swelling, or sometimes it's not something that you feel. It's actually inflammation within your GI tract or around any of your organs within your body.
Yeah, it's ultimately it's an immune response. It's your body
Correct.
creating an immune response to something it doesn't want in its environment.
Yes.
Okay, so if you're chronically inflamed, that means you're chronically fighting an infection, in other words, in some way, shape, or form. And so go get the Understanding Inflammation ebook that we have, and that's in the links below, and then you'll truly understand inflammation. 10 ways to find out if you are inflamed and 10 ways to actually get uninflamed as well.
Yeah.
So that non-inflammatory diet, remove sugar, remove gluten, and then the other one you want to remove is dairy. Gluten and dairy are
But there's
the two.
so much vitamin D and calcium in dairy, Dr.
There's
Kyle.
vitamin D2, which doesn't work for you, do anything for you, and there's calcium in
It's
real
not
raw
absorbable.
dairy. If it's raw dairy, yes, there's that stuff in there, but the problem is we pasteurize it, denature it, run it around in a mill, and then pass it on to us. And then Dr. Holly, tell us real quick your little dairy history. She's from Wisconsin, as you guys have heard in
I
the
grew
first
up
podcast.
on milk and cheese for sure. Both my grandparents on either side, my parents' are dairy farmers. So I actually saw them hook up the
Milkers.
milkers to the udders, and the milk truck would come on Fridays and pick up the milk from the big storage. And yes, I got to see it all. It was very interesting and neat. And I grew up on it 100% in our classrooms. I don't know if this happens in the South, but in our classrooms up north in Wisconsin is they have morning milk, and that's at 10 a.m. And so
They still do that?
yeah. They
Yeah,
still
we
bring
did that, but-
cartons. It's a little carton and
Chocolate, too.
it's you get to
Yeah.
pick chocolate
Or
or white
strawberry.
or skim. No strawberry.
Oh, we had strawberry.
Chocolate, white, or skim milk.
Yeah.
And you get it at 10 a.m. And I'm like, oh my gosh,
So-
no wonder these kids have ADD.
So
they can't focus.
talk about how it's on their udders all the time, and it creates
Oh, yes.
infections.
Okay, because they're constantly milking these cows. Their udders are typically irritated, so there's blood and pus that actually get into the milk, and they have to sieve that out and try to get rid of it. But most of it comes into the milk that you're drinking, and then they flash pasteurize it because there's so many viral infections and bacterial infections that happen in the cow because they're overworked and fed terribly. So you're getting all of these antibiotics, you're getting blood and pus, and then you're also getting hormones because they try to give them hormones so that they can produce more milk faster.
So for all you out there that want your kids to drink a glass of
Yum.
milk every day, hopefully that changes it. All right, so diet. Those are the three things. I mean, again, we can spend all day on diet, but I think that removing sugar, removing gluten, removing dairy is a great starting point for most people. And then adding the good stuff in. So obviously the stuff that you know is good. Vegetables, cruciferous vegetables are amazing for our skin. They help our body detoxify. They have something that they have the branched chain amino acids that give our body the ability to produce something called glutathione. And glutathione is our body's strongest antioxidant, which our liver uses to detoxify. Huge part of methylation and detoxifying the body. So cruciferous vegetables are crucial. And then also good healthy fats, right? From avocados, from grass-fed free-range organic meats, from what else we could coconut oil, fish oil, cod liver oil. Those things are amazing for our skin because it gives our skin, our hormones, what they need to produce themselves. And fat is a part of every cell in our body, and so good healthy fats are crucial. However, on the opposite, you want to stay away from the bad fats.
The bad fats are terrible. I mean, think of it as like literally clogging up your skin and creating acne right then and there. So that's going to be your canola oil, your vegetable oil. In fact, there's research that the CDC or the American Medical Association just put out that bad fats are worse for your immune system and your integumentary system than sugar. I mean, it always used to be
The
sugar.
American Medical Association said that?
They did. I just found that research.
It's funny how the American Heart or the Heart Association, is it?
Yes, American Heart Association.
They said no one could eat eggs anymore. We had to take the yolks out of our eggs, and cholesterol was killing us and everything else. Yeah. And now they gave us yolks back. They're still fighting coconut, but it's funny. They're weird. So the diet is a big part. No, the other thing I was going to say is this bad fats versus good fats. I have a little PDF that I've created, and to get that, just look at the links below. I'll put a link to that. It's on our blog, and you can get that. So
you can research that pretty easy.
The other part about diet is getting plenty of water when it comes to your healthy skin. We all know if we're dehydrated, it shows up in our skin. It becomes very what do they call that? Like
the turgor.
The turgor. Yeah, it's like this. It's like almost like
wrinkly.
This wrinkly look. It's yeah.
You absolutely age faster if you're dehydrated on a regular basis. So if you're listening and you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s, and you don't want wrinkles, you need to be hydrated.
Yep.
On a regular basis.
So that means drinking plenty of good, clean water, filtered water without fluoride, without chlorine in it. And also not drinking caffeine all day long. Because for these energy drinks and everything else are going to dehydrate you even if you drink plenty of water. Yes, I have a little bit of coffee in front of me. No, that is kava, actually.
The coffee's gone already.
Yes, we already had our coffee. I said all day. All right.
No, I still want to talk about diet, though, because those are the simple, like across the board. If you're listening, start those right away if you want to make changes. But truthfully, you need a very specific nutrition plan for you if you want to go after it 100%. Because
especially if you, and so this was for me.
If you have eczema, psoriasis, or you have skin dermatitis, any current skin conditions, is figuring out what's going on in that GI tract. So testing, and then also we always recommend a food allergy test because that will tell you anything that you're eating, and you might be eating it on a regular basis. It might be strawberries, kale, and blueberries. So sorry, but that's creating an immune response in your body, and it's the same thing as if you ate chocolate or sugar or things that are bad for you. Your body specifically.
Yes, 2 quick testimonials on that, our personal testimonials on that concept right there.
Yeah.
I've had followed the non-inflammatory diet, or a very similar eating plan, no gluten, no dairy, all those things out of my diet for years. I mean, 5-10 years. And again, you heard me say I had psoriasis since I was 4. Well, that psoriasis was still there as I followed that diet, and I took great supplements and everything else. I took the supplements.
It was better.
It was better, but it was still there. And a couple times a year, I'd get dandruff again and psoriasis on my head again. It was pretty embarrassing. You know, I'm trying to be this health expert, and I got psoriasis. And it wasn't until I actually took out food allergies I got my food allergies checked. I had eggs in there, I had black pepper in there, and I took those out, and then also did a gut test and found out that had bacterial growth, bacterial infection, and worked on that. So work on the gut, work on the food allergies, and now my psoriasis is completely gone. It's been gone for 2 years. So that was the one thing that shifted everything. And so many patients come in and they get their food allergies out, and that's all they needed to get rid of eczema and psoriasis. Now, some people do that and they don't get rid of their eczema and psoriasis because they need more than that. It might be other stuff going on in their GI tract. So if you have eczema or psoriasis, your steps are this: start following the non-inflammatory diet and do everything we just said in terms of eating. Get a food allergy test, an IgG food allergy test. We use Immunolabs. If you want that, simply just connect with us in the links below and we'll get you a food allergy test. And finally, possibly even gut testing as well to see if you have any yeast issues, because typically those things come with yeast infections in the gut. So
mamas out there, I'm seeing more eczema and psoriasis in kids than ever before.
Why do you think that is?
And unfortunately, our children get our gut. So if you have a really bad gut, if you've got infections, bacteria, you're eating food allergies, you have leaky gut, any of those possible things, when you give birth to your child, you pass on your gut lining to them. And now we have a rampant rate of C-sections by choice and by emergency and for whatever reason. Those children don't get the same GI tract, and they're missing out on so many good bacteria. I think you were telling me about a study the other day about the obesity risk for children that have actually been a C-section.
Yeah, there's a higher rate of obesity for kids that were C-section babies versus non-C-section, and they've linked that back to the microbiome, which is the bacterial...
The bacterial lining in the GI tract.
So that's diet. All right, so before we end up here, I want to go through some supplements, and then next time we're going to go through how much sleep you need, and the beauty products. I know people really want to know what kind of beauty products can I use, because most of the stuff that are out there for healthy skin is ridiculously toxic, and I'm talking about messes up estrogen levels and leads to cervical breast cancer for men and women. So the fastest growing cancer right now in men is actually breast cancer. So let's talk about supplements. So we have, there's so many good supplements out there, guys, you can take. Again, this is another thing that needs to really be individualized, but I'm going to give you some starting points and maybe even some testing to get that'll help you. So
I'm going to interrupt you before we talk about supplements.
You say that a lot.
Quality, because
I'm
that's the only way the only way I get to talk is
so
if
y'all are in
you.
Our house, it is a back and forth.
Yeah, and then you throw in our 5-year-old, and everybody's talking.
And then nobody
all
talks
the time.
because she just talks.
Everybody's talking all the same. Okay, quality is so important in nutrition and in supplements. So when we were talking earlier about adding cruciferous greens, all of those things, we always promote organic and non-GMO, not genetically modified anything. You want real
ideally
food
local.
And ideally local, and you know where it's sourced. Same thing with supplements, not necessarily local and made, but you want to research where they're coming from. So your Costco, your Walgreens, any of those, like, just supplements off the shelf. There goes
our hope for sponsorship.
Oh, sorry.
Just kidding.
You just want to make sure it's a good source. Otherwise, you're getting toxins, food dyes. I was going through a food allergy test with a patient, and gluten, and we were talking about removing gluten, and we found out that 5 of the supplements that she was taking actually had gluten in it.
And a lot of medications
food
have
dyes
it too.
And medications have those things in them too. So you want to make sure you're getting a good quality supplement. It's coming from a good source.
Okay, cool. So whole food sources. And when I talk about these supplements, I've shot videos on all of them, so I had to give you which ones to do as well. So we got supplements. The first one I'm going to recommend is vitamin D3. It is actually a hormone, not a vitamin, and it's crucial for hormone production. It's also crucial for liver function and just overall health in general.
And immune function.
And immune system function and everything. And so how much vitamin D3 should you take? Well, again, that's individualized, but I say start with 5,000 IUs and then test and see if you need more. So you can do a simple blood test. I think it's like $75 to get your vitamin D3 levels checked. If you want your D3 levels checked, you don't know where to go, just message us. You have all of our information in the podcast comments, and we'll get you that
So
set
the
up.
other option for getting that vitamin D3 is being in the sun with 50% of your body exposed, like the skin showing, for at least 1 hour a day. So if you can do that,
Like the skin,
the actual skin. Well, I mean, you can't just sit out there with your long sleeves and your pants on. No, you got to take your shirt off, and the skin has to be exposed to it. So
if you're listening, we're doing hand movements
back
and forth.
In the summer, this is potentially possible, but in the winter, you've got to supplement.
Okay. Yes. And so vitamin D3 is crucial. It needs to be a real good source. I like systemic formulas or the wellness way are my two favorite. Okay. Next is vitamin B, a B complex. Okay. So there's lots of vitamin Bs. And really, there's a big depletion in vitamin B in our world today. One, because of gut issues.
Because you're not absorbing it.
Exactly. Two, because of decreased quality of food.
Yes.
So I think it's a good idea to do a B vitamin complex. And it just helps make sure those B vitamins are part of every process of our body in terms of creating hormones, skin health, and everything. The next one is collagen. And that's become very popular, and I think because of skin.
Yeah.
But it's also just good for overall health in general, and it's a kind of our connective tissue. And again, that's what skin is. It's a connective tissue. So collagen is awesome. My favorite brand is Ancient Nutrition.
Shout out to Dr. Josh Axe.
Yeah, to Dr. Axe's Ancient Nutrition, Jordan Rubin. And the what's it called? Chocolate brownie is the best.
Double chocolate brownie,
So
bone
good.
broth collagen is what Dr. Kyle and my daughter
It's not
have.
bone broth, it's just collagen, but yes.
Bone collagen.
Yes.
Bone, sorry.
All right, and then vitamin C is the other one, and the reason I have that on there is it's a big antioxidant. It's very important for your immune system, but it's an antioxidant. It's one of the strongest antioxidants out there, and so good, healthy antioxidants. Again, there's so many supplements you can take. I'd spend all day listing them. So there's 4 right there.
Can you talk about vitamin C? We suggest that it's liposomal,
Liposomal
so that it's
vitamin C.
absorbed. And if you're not taking liposomal and you overdose on vitamin C, you'll be stuck in the bathroom for some time.
Yes. Okay. And then also the final bonus thing on there, or two other ones I would recommend is turmeric. Amazing for overall skin, for telomere strength, for your DNA strength, and also for helping the inflammatory response properly work in your body. Finally is electrolytes. We're so depleted in these electrolytes from too much stress, too much caffeine, not enough sleep,
water.
not enough water.
Yeah.
And so electrolyte replenishing is very important. So you want to find a good, either they make these packets now with electrolytes in them, and I like ones that don't have natural flavoring or any other chemicals in there or additives in there. Or you can take a pinch of sea salt. Celtic sea salt is amazing once a day in your water, and that will help at least replenish some of the electrolytes in your body. So electrolytes are very important.
How much water should you drink?
It's different for everybody based on your life and lifestyle. And so I say drink when you're thirsty, and you need to drink real water with electrolytes in them, or I call it living water, but it's water that has actually minerals in it, right?
Water.
Spring water, things like that. So I never say everyone should eat half your body weight in ounces every day or any of that.
Eat it.
You drink half your body weight in ounces of water every day, because that's just that's hard on your kidneys if you don't need it. So if you exercise a lot, you need more water. If you sit around all day, you're going to need less. That's how it goes. So listen to your body. Okay, guys, so that's healthy skin, the diet and the supplement aspect of it. And again, we could spend all day on this. There's so much to talk about here. But that's a great starting point. Go back on our YouTube channel, especially if you're someone with psoriasis and eczema or acne. I spend a lot of time on these videos walking through the things you need to do to figure out how to get rid of them. So watch those videos. They're very valuable, and they'll teach you a lot. Okay, next time we're going to talk about the proper sleeping and the proper beauty products, clean beauty products to get toxins out of your products, so you don't have cancers coming from them, but you can still have your skin.
You have beautiful skin and you don't age.
Yes. All right. You guys have an awesome day. This is Dr. Kyle Loveless and Dr. Holly Loveless signing out.